Good morning friends and welcome to the Sharekhan's pre-market update. First we'll have a watch at the global markets. Yesterday we saw the Dow closing on a very good note and it closed above 16,000 for the first time on the back of the strong data which came as far as the labor market is concerned, and also the subdued inflation overall beyond the sentiments for the US investors, and we saw a good buying yesterday. Dow closed 109 points up above 16,000 levels, and yes, there is uncertainty prevailing as far as the Fed's tapering is concerned, because no one has any idea as to when the stimulus would be reduced, and we would see the tapering as far as the bond buying of around $85 billion per month is concerned. But overall it seems that the markets are more or less getting discounted on this news, and we are seeing a good rally in the US markets. Back home, we have seen the Indian markets weakening for the last couple of days, and we have seen some good selling in the Indian markets. But as far as the FIs are concerned, we have seen yesterday, after a long time, we have seen the negative cash provisional figures of around 60 odd crores in the cash market. And at the same point of time, the domestic investors continued their selling spree, and they were sellers to the tune of around 650 odd crores in the cash markets with the provisional numbers. Going ahead, how the markets are going to span out, whether we would see a good bounce back from here, because currently the Singapore Nifty is trading at around plus 10 points. The Asian markets are trading on a positive note. Whether we would see a good bounce back from these levels, or whether we would see the selling continuing, let's have a look at the derivatives data.
Good morning friends, let's have a view at derivatives. Friends, from last 3 days, we have been seeing that the markets have been continuously getting a carnage, or say a hit or a sell-off from the higher levels, but the cut in yesterday's trade was much deeper, and also the selling was higher, and this probably might be accounted due to the closure of long positions, and around 1.87 lakh shares were reduced in open interest with a marginal decrease in the cost of carry. Now we've seen that the PCR ratio has declined sharply from 0.95 to 0.87, as good amount of open interest has been added on the call side, whereas we have seen almost negligible open interest adding across the put option. That's the reason we have seen that the PCR ratio has declined sharply. Now talking about the options activity, friends, the current matrix of the option has been suggesting that 6,000 call option has seen highest number of shares in the open interest, followed by 6,100 and 200, whereas if we have a look on the put side, it's 5,900 and 6,000 put option which has seen good amount of activity taking place in the market. Now as 6,000 call as well as put option has seen good amount of activity taking place in the market, what we probably feel is that this level on closing basis might act as a good support, or for that matter say 5,970 to 6,000 on closing basis would be an important level to watch on, or say would be an important support area for the market. Now we will be revising our weekly VWAP today, so we'll be continuing with this VWAP. And talking about the positional support on Nifty, friends, as I said, 5,970, 6,000 is the important support zone for the market, and from intraday perspective we feel 6,005 on Nifty would be a good support. The resistance for the market for today would be 6,070, 6,120, and net the FIs were net sellers in yesterday's trade. From intraday perspective, bail is looking positive, so one can go long by maintaining a stop loss of 134 rupees 35 paisa. Thank you.
For the MID news and updates today, yes, some positive sentiment booster from the RBI statements that RBI is favoring the slashing of the statutory liquidity ratio, and has mentioned that stressed on the need to reduce the level of the mandatory holding of the government securities by the banks, as that would enable the credit flow to the other sectors. Now it has however warned that it might have to wait until the government financials improve and when pension funds gather the size. So overall, yes, it has given some indications for reducing the SLR, and RBI also favors diluting the government stake in the public sector banks. So overall, it's a good sentiments for the banking sector. We might see some positive movement in today the banking stocks. On the other news, Spectrum EGOM meet today. We'll give the roadmap for the auctions for the EGOM, and we'll discuss the roadmap for the third round of Spectrum auctions, including the reserve price and the quantum of the spectrum to be put on sale. On the other news, the coal industry ministry has decided to deallocate the level captive coal blocks, including 3 mines of Jindal Steel and Power. And other coal blocks of the OCL, India, Birla Corporation, Sunflag Iron and Steel and Dalmia Cement have also been cancelled. So it's a bit negative for these companies, and we might see some negative movements in these stocks, including Jindal Steel and Power. On the other news update, Dabur India has bought the business undertakings of Northern Aromatics Limited at the Uttarakhand factory. The Northern Aromatics is a third-party manufacturer of Dabur, and as per the agreement, Dabur will buy manufacturing facility, all assets and liabilities related to the particular facility at a consideration of rupees 15 crores. Torrent Pharma is in advanced talks to buy the Elder Pharma's domestic business, sources have shared, and Torrent Pharma is said to have offered around 1700 crores for buying the whole of India's business. On the other news, yesterday Cipla came out with the news that Cipla has acquired majority stake in Uganda-based Quality Chemical Industries Limited with the acquisition of additional 14.5% stake for $15 million. The Metitab Holdings Limited subsidiary of Cipla was earlier holding around 36.55% stake in the Quality Chemical Industries Limited. On the other news, UK-based company ED&F has joined hands with the Shimbauli Sugar to bag a 15-year lease contract to run the sugar cooperative unit from the Cane-rich Kolhapur district in Maharashtra. From the long ideas for today, we have put a first idea of ACC and recommend to go long, because the news is that the Wholesale India cemented its India restructuring plans after securing majority of the postal votes from the non-promoter minority shareholders of its subsidiary company Ambuja Cement. So based on the overall valuations, it seems positive for ACC, and we recommend to go long on ACC with a stop loss of 1005 for target of 1060 and 1100. Escorts has come out with the news that it is expanding the Rudrapur plant production and would double its capacity. The entire work would be over by the next 9 months, and installed capacity at plant is to manufacture around 1.5 lakhs of shock absorbers per month, and it would again scale up and expand to 5 lakhs per month. So on the basis of this news, we recommend to go long on Escorts with stop loss of 117, target of 125 and 128. That's it, friends, from the MID updates. Thanks, have a nice trading day.